Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about why the Ashes of the Star Amulet is just so insane and why you should probably consider using it if your skill scales off gem levels at all, because there is a lot going on with this amulet and it has a lot going for it. So much so that over 25% of top rated players right now are using an Ashes of the Stars. The most generic and most powerful item in the game, Watcher's Eye, is only at 36%, so it's pretty damn overpowered to have that level of representation in the Arch Nemesis League. So overall, it's incredibly powerful. The only reason I wouldn't be using it in this league specifically is if you've got an absolutely insane amulet, you need a build enabling amulet like Badge of the Brotherhood, or you're using Omniscience. Those are basically the only reasons I wouldn't be using this amulet, because it is absolutely crazy what it will help you achieve. Okay, so let's go over it and then we'll go over why it's just so insane and some things that you might be overlooking in terms of its power, and if you're using it right now, some things that are going to help you out straight away. But first, if you're not already and you like this video, make sure to sub and hit the like button. It would definitely help me out a lot. Okay, Ashes of the Stars. So overall, this is a spellcaster kind of based amulet. It gives you +1 level to all of your skill gems, and that is going to be a roughly 10% more damage multiplier for most skill gems. So overall, if you're a spellcaster, this is a pretty damn good pickup. On an attack based build, you're probably looking more into the Omniscience side of things, and that's a different video altogether. Let's talk spellcasters though. So you're already getting +1 to all of your skill gems. Now it's important to note that is active skill gems, so it's not going to juice up your supports like Empower or anything like that. It's just the active ones, but it's still pretty damn good. There's a reason that people were using +2 amulets last league and for every league, and that was their best in slot. Now it's not a +2 amulet, so you're going to be losing out on some damage there, but this amulet more than makes up for it with the other two things on this specific unique. So the first up and the second part here is going to be the increased reservation efficiency of skills. This is definitely not the most powerful modifier, but it is definitely a welcome addition, and it's going to allow you to fit in a ton more auras on your build, whether that's an additional Herald or going for a third 50% mana reservation kind of aura. Like, you know, you could have Determination, Grace, and now you could run a damage aura as well on top of that. Or if you're really heavily invested in mana reservation efficiency, you can go 3 auras and then, you know, maybe a Herald or something along those lines, which could definitely be quite nice. Okay, so those aren't that insane. Those aren't really nuts. What is really nuts and the most unique thing about this amulet is the 30% or 20 to 30% quality to all skill gems. This is way more broken than anyone really realizes at first glance. I've been using this amulet the whole time and I've kind of been like, you know, oh, it's okay. I've been, you know, kind of glossing over it, but it's only when I went to buy my alternate quality gems that I really truly understood the absolute powerhouse that this amulet is. Let me take you through it with a few examples and then give you a few more generic examples of why this might be so powerful for you. So first of all, I do want to talk a little bit about what some other people are doing with this amulet and how it's build enabling. So most recently, Mathel, another YouTuber and Twitch streamer, has been using this to fully convert Spark to chaos damage using alt quality Spark. Now I'm not sure how powerful that build is overall in terms of its meta viability, but that is definitely an extremely build enabling niche use, but it has widespread use as well. Let me take you through it. Okay, so on my Corrupting Fever character here, I use a number of different skill gems to kind of give me quite a few benefits, whether them be auras, actual skill gems in trigger setups, all sorts of things like that. Now, the first things I want to show you are the super generic ones. Let's talk a little bit about Blood Rage first. So Blood Rage is a really common attack-based ability, which most builds are going to be using. And generally, you get a ton of attack speed on the base gem, and then you get a percentage more, you know, kind of attack speed from the quality here. So generally it's about 5% quality attack speed, but it can go all the way up to 12% increased attack speed with the Ashes of the Stars. So if you're an attack-based kind of spell build and using Blood Rage, for example, you know, some sort of a cock build or a CF build, this is insane to scale up your Blood Rage, and it's going to give you a lot more attack speed. You know, that's 2 or 3 nodes on the tree right there that you're getting 4 free on your Blood Rage. And then overall, it's making Blood Rage have a 24% increased attack speed. Now, what's even cooler about this, if you go with an alternate quality Blood Rage, well, now you're looking at getting a much higher chance at getting those frenzy charges on hit from unique enemies. So if you guys didn't know, alternate quality Blood Rage will give you now a 10 or 15% chance to get a frenzy charge on hit, which is massive. That's going to give you enough frenzy charge sustain to kind of, be good and include that in your POBs. Absolutely insane. Let's move on to another one, generic one here. Flesh and Stone, something a lot of physical based builds as well as melee based builds use a ton. So Flesh and Stone has an alternate quality which gives you increased armor and evasion. Generally, it's about 10%, but with the Ashes of the Stars equipped, you're going to get a free 15% increased evasion and armor. So you can just tack that on to the Ashes of the Stars amulet here as an additional modifier if you're using any sort of aura like this, which is generic. Of course, it doesn't stop there. For example, with War Banner, the quality is generally 10% increased aura effect of it. Well, with Ashes of the Stars, it's now 25% increased aura effect. And that's just the beginning. So when we start getting into active skill gems, similar to how Mathil was doing the full conversion to Chaos, that's where it starts getting really broken, especially with alternate qualities. I highly encourage you to go check out what your alternate qualities are for your skill gem with what you're specifically using. So for example, if you're doing a Spark, or if you're doing some sort of a Freezing Pulse, or something along those lines, definitely go check it out, as there could be some absolutely insane interactions waiting for you to uncover and exploit with Ashes of the Stars. Let's go through what I'm doing currently right now. So we were talking about how valuable attack speed is earlier. Well, I'm using an alternate quality Divergent Tornado Shot here. It normally gives me 10% increased attack speed. Now it gives me 25% increased attack speed. That is insane. I'm getting a further 15% attack speed from Ashes of the Stars. That's equivalent to like 5 nodes on the tree. Combine that with Blood Rage, my goodness, we are getting an absolutely colossal amount of attack speed. We're getting 7 on Blood Rage, and then we're getting a further 15 on Tornado Shot. That is just absurd. 22% attack speed from one amulet, and that's not even all it's doing. It's giving us the evasion and the armor, in my case here, and then it just keeps getting better and better, because it also is a build enabling unique for my build here. So in general, with the removal of the amulet mod for Corrupting Fever, it's pretty much dead in the water if you wanted to do bows. But with Ashes of the Stars and Anomalous Corrupting Fever, you can reduce the life cost by enough to where you can actually play the build as bows without needing the amulet craft. This isn't going to mean a lot to a lot of you, but in general, this has enabled my build to actually exist and play. So not only is it giving you all those bonuses, but it's enabling my personal build, just like it enabled Mathil's. So there's massive opportunity here to open up a slew of new build options and different things. Another example here is that Discharge has an alternate quality which makes it so that certain amounts of charges are not consumed at a certain rate with one of its alternate qualities. Ashes of the Stars takes that up and is going to increase the overall damage and consistency of your discharge builds, for example. And there's a lot more examples of this, but just to kind of give you guys a few more here on my end. So generally, I'm running a Frenzy Charge culling main setup here in a Maloney's mechanism. And generally, Frenzy, it kind of doesn't hit very often. But, you can get an alternate quality Frenzy here, which fires 1 additional projectile, which would make it into kind of a V, which wouldn't hit anything at all. But if you use Ashes of the Stars, now suddenly you get free LMP on it, and it is going to hit far more consistently, and you're going to get way more Frenzy Charges in general. So overall, you can kind of see the picture I'm painting here. There is an absolute ton of things that you can do with Ashes of the Stars. Again, another one, Pride is going to have massive AoE, so you're going to hit the whole screen with your Pride. Overall, this is an absolutely insane amulet. To kind of give you guys a few more varied examples of how it might apply immediately to you, you can take a look at something like Herald of Ice. So Herald of Ice gives you increased cold damage, just straight up. Tons of builds use Herald of Ice. And it's going to give you just a straight up damage multiplier, which on top of all the benefits of the already existing Ashes of the Stars mods, you're getting the reservation efficiency, the +1, and then you're getting free damage off of your Herald, for example, which is crazy. And if you wanted to really start to look at some interesting things, you could get, for example, increased AoE on your Herald of Ice now. So generally, it's going to cap out around 10% base. Well, now you can take it up to 25% increased AoE on your Herald of Ice using Ashes of the Stars. Completely crazy, and that's definitely starting to open up some pretty interesting build paths and juiciness on your different kind of builds going on here. Something like Herald of Ash as well. which a tons of people use. Does also have some pretty crazy alt quality ones here. So like 3% increased burning damage. That's 60% increased burning damage just for the normal 20%. Well, it just gets juiced up even more. And overall, it's just going to be crazy just how much juice you can get out of this alternate quality, kind of even just normal quality technology, Wish Ashes of the Stars. So I would highly recommend looking at all of your alternate qualities for your build if you're using this amulet. And if you're not already using this amulet and you're using something like a +2, definitely look into it, because the sum of all of your different quality gems that you're using could definitely tip it over the edge and make it a massive upgrade for you. So I'd highly recommend taking a look at it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this short little video on Ashes of the Stars. Definitely don't underestimate this amulet. There's a reason everyone's using it, and I'm using it myself. It is completely insane, and it's on a very low budget. It's very easy to get, and it drops all the time off Eater of Worlds. So with that said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.